one thing that is happening right now in Canada, the committees are wrapped up in the House of Commons, but because I have a very busy job and then I can't always watch the committees, I'm going back and watching them, and I will be cutting clips going forward for the next little bit. But the House has risen, as they say, for the summer. No more committees, no more House of Commons. Everybody is on the summer barbecue circuit. So you won't get a lot of news about the scandals in the government going forward. The Canadian summertime is sort of the dead time for political scandal news, unless, Justin Trudeau leaves the cottage and does something stupid. But right now, we are still reeling with what should be something that takes down the government, Arrivescam. So it's the flawed surveillance app that returning travelers to Canada had to input their information in, and it didn't work. And it was $60 million. It was basically replicated over a weekend for a few 100,000. I think it was tens of thousands, actually. And that version actually worked. It was replicated in the private sector. There are procurement contracts that showed that there was like no proof of work, no work done. They didn't care. They were tailoring the contract so that they were saying it's not a sole source contract. They were opening the bids up for tender, but narrowing the requirements for the bid so tightly that it was obviously given to the Liberals' favored contractor. So there's a lot of that going on. Oh, it's open source tender, but only one person could have ever qualified for it. GC Strategies in the case. GC Strategies, their higher ups. By the way, they're not even trying to hide this. GC, guess what that stands for? Government of Canada. So, I mean, like, come on. It's right in our faces. They were going for dinner with CBSA officials, and this app, I want to reiterate, didn't work. It sent 10,000 people to quarantine who didn't need to be there, and some of those people were fined $5,000, $5,500 for not quarantining, and they didn't need to. Some of them paid those fines, because what do you do when the government fines you like that? Anyway, a lot of people got rich. One wonders what the kickbacks are. And Justin Trudeau knew about the problems with the Arrivescan procurement and the way the contracts were being awarded much sooner than the government is letting on. The government has said, oh, we had no idea about any of this. Well, that's weird, because Justin Trudeau wanted a briefing on Arrivescan with the clerk of the Privy Council, which is his chief bureaucrat, in January of 2023. So like a year and a half ago now. Trudeau knew what was going on with Arrivescam. Let's show this.
Possession of an access to information document. It's A2023-00306. It's a memorandum for the clerk of the Privy Council from that department, from the PCO for the Prime Minister. The documents state that in January of 2023, the Prime Minister requested briefs related to Arrivecan. Is the RCMP aware of those briefs?
No, Mr. Chair, I'm not aware of any briefs.
So the document, Commissioner, goes on to say that the Prime Minister raised the issue of Arrivecan with the clerk of the Privy Council. Is the RCMP aware of those conversations and their contents?
No, Mr. Chair, I'm not aware of any conversations with the Prime Minister at PCO as well as the contents.
So if it's helpful to the RCMP, I'd be happy to furnish you with this ATIP. Would you like it?
Again, it doesn't involve us. We want to make sure that any document that's brought into investigation is done properly. So you could keep the ATIP for now, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that those diligent folks from your agency who are behind you there caught that ATIP number when I offered it, and can access that file.
That was astounding. So the RCMP does not have, nor have they done, investigations into who knew what when quite yet. Now, maybe it's early in their investigation, but if you can get those documents through access to information, wouldn't you want them? Like, wouldn't you want the document just so that you could go to the access to information people, the information people in the Privy Council and say, see this document that was furnished to us by the Conservative Party of Canada? We want a copy of it, an unaltered copy, because maybe they're concerned the Conservatives altered it or whatever. The Conservatives are willing to turn over evidence in an investigation to the RCMP, and the RCMP are like, no, that's fine, thanks, we're good. I hope they do what Michael Barrett just said they're going to do, suggested that they do, and that is go directly to the information officers at the PCO and ask for this document containing this information saying Trudeau knew about the problems with the Arrivescam procurement scandal a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago. And he kept a lid on it until now. Probably too busy just dealing with the foreign interference stuff. You can't even keep track of these scandals. You really can't. It's crazy.
Support freedom and support Rebel News this Canada Day by checking out our latest designs at rebelnewsstore.com. There you can use code TAMARA10, that's TAMARA 10, to save 10% off of your total order at checkout. Just like this shirt here, freedom isn't free. We have tons of new designs and great Canada Day swag, so be sure to check it out at rebelnewsstore.com. Thank you for your support.